So, hello everybody. This story I'm going to tell you, it's from like 2007 is when they took the pills off the shelves, and all my friends were in prison. I had to deal with the meth that we got from Mexico, and this buddy of mine, I was over at his house, and he had some really good meth, and I said, "Where'd you get this?" He goes, "Well, his um, his buddy Eddie, who's a Latino and connected with the cartel, he goes, yeah, he just got out of prison and he's over at so and so's house, and him and his girlfriend are set up shop over there." And he goes, "You want to go over there?" I said, "Sure." So I needed to find a new hook, and so I went over there. Me and him went over there, and he had known him for quite a few years, and I walk in, and this guy's a pretty scary looking dude, and he says, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm bike shop," and so I buy a little bit from him and get to know him, and it turns out that he likes knives. This guy really loves knives, and me being the tweaker collector that I was, I had a good stockpile of knives. I had a couple bayonets. One was a Pakistan bayonet, pretty nice one, it was basically a short sword. And so I started talking about knives and stuff, and so it was all good. He was pretty cool, and he said, "Yeah, I'd like to see that knife." So I just played it chill for the first time meeting him, but then the next day, I went over to my buddy's house. I said, "Hey, I got that bayonet with. Should we go over there and see what he's up to?" All right, so he drives me over there, and we go in there, and Eddie is there, and him and his girlfriend are there, and they're all high as fuck, So I show him the knife, and he really liked it. He goes, "Oh, I like the length or whatever, and he thought it was pretty cool. And so I said, "You got any meth? Can you sell me some?" He's like, "Well," he says, "I got to come up with a certain amount of money so I can re-up." He goes, "Can you unload 2 8 balls like in a hurry?" And I said, "Yeah. How fast you want them sold?" And he goes, "As soon as you can." I said, "All right." So I basically grabbed the 2 8 balls, and I went to some of my best customers, and I basically gave them a really good deal to get all their money, and then I bumped up some of my own just so I could sell it really quick. So then I brought it back, and he was impressed that I sold it like within an hour, So he gave me 2 more 8 balls. Well, so this is how it works, I was on my way. I got a new hook, and I'm working for Eddie now, I guess. So I took my time on them. He told me I didn't have to come back. Come back whenever you want. He said, because now he had re-upped and he's got a big pile of meth. So the there's no hurry. So I got rid of them within a day. So the next day I went back, and there was a bunch of cars there, and I walk up to the front door, and like the door was knocked off its hinges, and I walk in, and I said, "Hey, anybody home?" And nobody was there, and I walked in, and I basically knew right away they had been raided. And so I knew that the police, the task force, usually surveillance it afterwards too. So and at this time, I used my wife's car. I didn't have a driver's license, so I just kind of got in my car, got in her car, and I drove out of there. And I went home, and I checked the jail roster, and sure shit, he was in jail. They all got busted, and so I owed him the money for 2 8 balls. So now what do you do? It's kind of it was a sticky situation, so I had to hang on to the money, and then So I took some of the money and I bought some more because my phone was ringing off the hook. I had to keep my customers happy, so I had to play this game of keep some money and have a little. I just had to sell it as I was, just to keep the money there in case somebody showed up and said, "Hey, you gotta pay him back. He needs money on his books." So I'm just kind of like playing it cool, but I'm still trying to satisfy my customers and shit. So I'm doing that and doing that, and all of a sudden, this dude shows up in my house, and his name's Tommy, and he's from the neighborhood. He's from my neighborhood, and he's like, shit, he's got to be 7 years younger than me. He was like the neighborhood rat. I mean, not the rat, but him and his little brothers were like the neighbor rats, and so he was a punk the last time I saw him, and I didn't know, but he says, "Hey, you got that money?" And I said, "Yeah." But you're at my house. He says, meet me down at the gas station. So I said, all right. So I still don't know what the fuck is going on, because I don't trust this guy. He was just a little kid when I knew him, but so I go down there, and one of the things that I always did is I gave him half the money back and half meth back, because then if there's some kind of a snitching thing going on, I always tried to keep him I don't know, it's just something I always did, I said, well, you're gonna have to come back for the rest, or because if they're a snitch, they're gonna say, no, all I want is money. But he said, okay, that's fine for now. So now I know he's not a snitch, because now he's got meth and money, and that ain't the way the cops work. So okay, so he's not a snitch, but I still don't want him in my yard. I don't want to deal with him. So then that went on. Then the next day, this other guy comes in. In fact, he's the guy that I bought my German Shepherd from. And I didn't deal with him either, because he was kind of a sketchy kind of a dude. But I bought his German Shepherd from him. Cost me an 8-ball and $100. I don't know who would sell their German Shepherd for an 8-ball and $100, but that's what I gave for him, and I still got him. But anyways, so he shows up at my house and he's like, "Hey, you got that money yet?" I'm going, "No, I don't have any money." I did have the money, but I said, all I got is meth. So I know he was going to take it. He's going to take it as meth. He was going to take the meth because he's a fiend. They never turned down the meth. So I gave him the meth. I kept the money, and he takes off on foot, which looks really weird. He goes walks a block away, and I'm watching him, on my cameras, monitors and shit, and watching him walking, and that's the last I seen of him. But it turns out, a little while later, someone comes up to my garage and says, Sarge was his name. He says, "Sarge just got stopped down in the alley of Troy's house." I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he got scooped up by the task force, and he took him away." I'm like, "Really?" So 3 days later, Sarge is out running around, and he's calling me up, and I'm just going, "Nah, I don't have shit, I don't have shit." So obviously they were trying to get me, and they got him instead because of him being a fiend, I guess. But so yeah, that was a weird day, and really weird day. And then Eddie finally got out, and of course he came over, and he said, "Hey, you got some money for me?" I just gave him the money that I owed him, because I know he wasn't a snitch, because he just ain't. It's all these dumbasses running around town trying to be a dealer, trying to be something they're not, and so they all get busted, and it cost me extra. Eddie was good, and then I dealt with him for a little bit, but then he got caught. He stabbed somebody with a knife, and then he went back to prison. And yeah, that's the way the meth world is. So if you want to experience some of this yourself, you can just keep on smoking meth, and you'll probably figure it out for yourself. So yeah, we'll see you later. Subscribe, leave a like. Talk to you later. Bye.